What's up, guys? It's been a while, but housing just updated. I'm going to go over everything that you need to know in this update right now. For starters, there's a new lobby, which I think looks awesome. Also, the amount of lobbies got reduced, and there's 100 players per lobby now, which is kind of interesting. That doesn't really matter, though, so we're just going to get into the actual cool stuff. I made a private house here that showcase all the new features. We're going to get into them right now. Starting off with stats. So stats, they've completely changed them. They're so different now. They have the same idea, but there's more you can do with them, which is amazing. For starters, instead of stats just being whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, and that's it, you can now have strings, which is text, or doubles, which is decimals. So I'll showcase that right now. We have an NPC here, and if we open this up and we hover over click actions, first of all, you'll see a new thing that shows you the actions inside. This is awesome. Opening that up, we can hover over the actions and it displays even more information about what's in the actions, again, which is awesome. You'll notice here that the change player stat is called change variable. That's because they've condensed all the stats into one, which you can change inside the holder option in the change variable. So you can do global stats and team stats still. We can change the variable name. Originally was the stat name. We can change the mode. Nothing really new here besides unset, which just sets it to the default value. But the value here we can set to player.name placeholder, which does not return a number. It returns text. And then in display title, we print it out by using var.player/player name. It's a new placeholder for the variables. Stat.player does still work, but it doesn't work if you're using doubles and strings. If we right click this here, it sets our name to Alex Warrior and prints it out to us. So we can use text in stats now. That's awesome. This also works globally. I have the exact same thing here, but with a global stat. It sets player name to player.name, right click, and there we go. Ignore where it says ping, I forgot to change it. There's also one more setting in the change variable that's automatic unset. I've looked over the forum posts like 3 times for this and I still can't fully figure this out. All I do know is that when a stat is considered default, so for numbers this is 0 or for strings this is empty, it's unset. It doesn't seem too important though. And then doubles here, there's a showcase of doubles. We have the exact same setup here, but you can see, and I actually don't need to go into it, I could show you right here, we increase our variable gold by 0.1. And the D at the end, it just housing adds that for us. It just means doubles. And then right clicking here, you'll see our gold increases by 0.1 every time. So we can now do decimal stats, which is awesome. The next big thing is error handling. Now, when something that in housing just didn't work before, you couldn't exactly know what the issue is until you had to go over and try to figure it out yourself. This wasn't that big of an issue, but with the new stats feature, this is super awesome. What I have in here is is 2 actions. Simply, we set player name to player.name, and then we try to decrease 1 from that, which doesn't make sense. We can't decrease 1 from our name. So when we right click, it gives us an error. You can do /h logger, and this will open up all our recent errors. As you can see, I was doing a lot of testing. And if you actually click on the error, it'll go to the action of where it happens. You can see player name, it tried to decrease by 0. That's where the error happened. I want to note another thing that was added to stats. If we go inside our display title here, there's a new option down here for note. We can click on it and enter a note like display, if I can spell it right, display the player's name. And as you can see, it will have a note. So if we go out, we can see at the bottom, display the player's name, which is the note that we just selected. Nice to have. Personally, I won't be using this because I just make notes in HTSL, but it's definitely a nice thing to have in housing. More things just in vanilla housing is always great. Even if you won't use them that much, it being an option for newer players is just better for everyone. But moving on now, we have leaderboards. Now, leaderboards were pretty much completely redone. In the beginning, there wasn't that much configuration with them, but now, if I left click on this, you can see there's a lot. I want to go over the blatant features here, so if we just click on it, we can go to the data provider. Now, this is the option between player variable, as well as the parkour leaderboard and team variable. Parkour leaderboard is here because if we go in items, you can see there is no parkour leaderboard. It's now just combined into leaderboard, which also has a new texture, which I think looks nice. We have the option to title override, which overrides the text at the top. So I have it say just raw gold, which is that 1.3 number we had earlier. Do note that you actually can't use color codes in this. I found that surprising. I thought you could, but unfortunately you can't. You can set the amount of lines you have, which you can see in the later leaderboards. There's a bit less. There's like 5 on that one. There's 1 on that one. You can set the actual stat name, or now variable, that's used. You can also set the format type, so the options are number formatted, Roman numeral, duration in minutes and seconds, duration in days, hours, minutes, seconds, and I'll show you those right now. So this is the formatted with commas. If it's a big number, it'll just have commas. Compared to the original, it's just the raw number. We have it formatted as in Roman numerals, which I have the stat kills for, so I have 20. We have it formatted as time. I have 0.01 seconds because I just don't have a lot of gold. And then we have it formatted as days, hours, and seconds. And because I only have 1.3, I think it should say 1 second, but that's all right. But it might be doing some weird rounding thing. Or maybe, actually, I don't know. That's strange. There might be an issue. It might just be my fault. I'm not sure. As for the other options, we have invert sorting, which was there before, as well as show all entries. We have persistent data, which was there before. We also have show personal, which is, I really like this one. If you enable it, it just adds 2 more lines at the bottom that just shows your own thing. Originally, you had to use another hologram if you wanted to do this, but now it's built in, which is awesome. And we have 2 here. These are pretty much grouped together. We have player conditions and match any condition. And this is obvious here. Basically what it does is filter which players are shown on the leaderboard using conditions. So based on the conditions that you set, only those players will be on the leaderboard. Maybe you want to show players that are on the leaderboard with on level 10 and how much gold they have, but only level 10. Or maybe another leaderboard with level 15, but only gold for players on level 15. That's what I think you would use that for, which is awesome. The rest of the new stuff is in the menu. So if we go on in here and we go to the house settings, we can open up player data and then open up the player states. There's a new thing here. We now have the state types, and these just determine what we actually save individually. Originally this wasn't toggleable, but now it is, and there's more options. So when it comes to the player states, we can whether or not to include our location, which is our flight status and location, our parkour, our health, which includes current, max, and our hunger level, inventory data like ender chest, health item slot, and our actual inventory and armor, our potion effects, and what current team we're on. Another new thing is in systems, we have this new option here for analytics. Now this is awesome. I think this is something that I've personally wanted for a while. Currently there's only 1 stat in here, but if we open it up, we can see our daily unique players, our weekly, monthly, yearly, and all-time unique players. So right now, just 1 stat, obviously separated between different intervals, but still really cool to have. I'm looking forward to maybe some more analytics that they add. I would love to see like how many resources a specific action is using, or maybe a function, so you can know, hey, maybe I need to optimize that. Then again, who really optimizes stuff in housing? I'm just giving out ideas. I should mention that groups also have the permission view analytics, which allows other people to view the analytics, not just the owner, which is certainly cool to have now. As for the smaller but certainly interesting updates, we also have a new game role. If we do such game role, you can see we have inventory bin. We can toggle that on or off. Basically, just if the bin is there for players with build mode on or off, it should be like around here for players that are not the owner. Hopefully you know what I mean. It's that little bin that's always in the way. It's annoying. I would just always turn this off. I have a region here. I called it test. It's just in the ground. But let's say we had a lot of actions in it, and it'd be an absolute pain to have to move the actions to a new region because we want to move it to, let's say, maybe right here. We can now open up the systems menu, go to regions, go to our test region, and we can see move region, and it will move it to our current selection. Clicking that, as you can see, now here's the region. And you don't have to worry about redoing your actions because they'll save, which is awesome. I have personally wanted this for a while. In the housing menu, in house settings, and you going into PvP and damage settings, there's a new toggle for natural regeneration if you want the natural regeneration to be on in your house. Originally, I think this was always on, but it's a toggle now, which is nice. I have a function here, and if we open up the actions and we go to the right, you can see 2 new actions that allow you to set the player weather and set the player time. Now, I do believe this is actually client side. So 2 players can have different weather shown on their screen as well as times. I did hope that this would allow you to do it with a stat, but unfortunately you can either select from preset times or a custom time, but this doesn't support placeholders, at least at the moment. And then for weather, you just get the option sunny or rainy. I'm a little weirded out that I don't see thunderstorm, but maybe I'm thinking wrong. I'm not really sure. I do know that you can create snow by having a snow biome with rain. But I do think thunderstorming is a different one, so I'm not sure why that's here, or maybe I'm wrong. And for you non-Housing Plus players, you can now go to player data, player saturations, and instead of setting your default saturation to 14 days, it has been increased to 30 days, which is awesome. There's a few bug fixes which I'll show on screen right now, as well as some other stuff I didn't mention that isn't that important, but still very nice to have. There's an absolutely amazing update. I think it's so cool that we got more stuff in housing so quickly since the last update. I think Hypixel did a great job in this update. I want to appreciate you guys for watching all the way through. I want to say I'm sorry for the non-recent uploads. There's really been not much for me. I promise I'm not gone. I'm just taking a break. I'm doing my own thing, stuff I enjoy a little bit more. Housing just got a little stale for me, but hopefully maybe this update will bring me back. But yeah, thanks for watching.